Eric Musbarnes. And you know, ever since I became a cast member at Disney, there was one thing that I've always noticed about people that I've worked with. I divide them into two categories. There are what I call the Disney people and the non-Disney people. And you can spot them instantly, right? The Disney people are the ones who really love being a part of Disney. And they're very proud of being a part of Disney, and it's really important to them to maintain that kind of magic and that quality that they have been familiar with ever since they were children. Whether it's that feeling that you get as soon as you sit down to watch a Disney film, or you remember watching the Mickey Mouse Club when you were a little kid. There's something about those people, those cast members, who cherish those memories, and they want to be able to share them with others, and they want to make sure that Disney continues to have that kind of a legacy. Then you have the non-Disney people. They just treat it like a job, and they're usually not around for very long. You know, it's just something to put on their resume, and then the next thing you know, they're out of there, they're working somewhere else, because Disney doesn't really mean anything to them. Obviously, the Disney people always last. And during the course of being a cast member and being a part of Disney, one of the people that I met who is definitely a Disney person was a gentleman named Mark Trappett. And this is a little video that I put together with Mark and his wife, and I won't really introduce them in any way other than that. I'll just let you watch the video, and you'll see by the end why Mark and his wife are definitely Disney people.
One of the main influences for me as I was growing up was one of my uncles in England. He just loved all Disney stuff, and he used to have books like Grimm's Fairy Tales, and he was always talking about wizards and witches and all, like, you know, like those kind of really interesting stuff like that. I remember his room, he had all his music and his records, and he used to make statues. Each week he used to give me 2 new statues every week, all boxed up. And he used to have, at the time then, these like rubber molds, and he used to pour plaster of Paris and cast them, and then he used to paint them and give them to me. And sometimes like Winnie the Pooh, or it was some other characters, like, so I used to collect them. They had like a garden that used to go up in a big slope, and at the top he made like a castle, a small version of the castle here, and he had a model train that used to go around it and all around the garden as well. And I just remember it because it was fantastic. I loved it, and he was so creative. And I think that's where some of that projected onto me, because I just started to love everything with Disney, and I wanted to draw and animate and do all these things.
And then, what did you find out when when we met? One of my interests was
statuary. Yeah, she actually does all the statuary stuff. Yeah.
I would get the greenware, the unfired kind, and clean them all up and have them fired and then paint them. And we found a place in San Diego that had an exclusive deal or whatever with Disney, and they sold. When we went into this place and we saw all the Disney greenware, I thought I was in heaven.
I was fortunate enough to work at the park here as well, at Disneyland Park here in California for a short time, but I really enjoyed it. It was a great opportunity to be involved with it's a very positive kind of atmosphere here, and you feel like you're doing something worthwhile. That's what I've always felt whenever my involvement working at Disney, is that whatever you do, you feel like you're doing something that's worthwhile. You're bringing smiles to people's faces, that you're, you know, in some cases it might be that a family might be bringing a family member here that might be very sick or might be ill or disabled, and so you feel like you're doing something very positive. I always thought how fantastic it would be to work at Disneyland and to actually bring enjoyment to people, you know, especially when times are tough, to lift them and kind of make them feel better, because
right.
Disney had such a massive positive influence on the world.
It's very wholesome too.
Yeah.
Everybody of every age can come here, and there's something for everyone here.
Yeah, there's something for everybody, every age or whatever.
Yeah.
Whether you're like a grandparent or whether you're a child or whatever, there's always something here that you can learn or enjoy, and that's the awesome thing as well, I always think.
Sure.
Yeah, Disneyland rules.
For Mark and Charmaine, their mutual love of Disneyland goes a lot deeper than simply liking the park. Their love for all things Disney is one of the things that actually brought them together in the first place.
Originally, we both were pen friends, and we were on this like pen friend list, and I was on her list and she was on mine. And we used to have pen friends all over, didn't we?
All over the world.
All over the world, Germany and Australia and of course they're here in the US. And she had a bunch of friends, but anyway, we both seemed to click, you know. We had the same interests and stuff, and so we started writing to one another, and I sent her a tape, a cassette tape as it was then, with some music on that I liked, and one of the songs was this one that's playing right now, because I always loved Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and she always reminded me of Snow White, and so it was love at first sight. Then we sent a couple of videotapes of our families for introductions, and kind of got to know one another. We used to telephone, call each other. We were on for hours and hours and hours, running up these massive telephone bills that scared both of her family and mine. My mum used to be telling me, "Get off the phone, Mark, get off the phone." And her dad. But anyway.
None of this stuff of free international calling.
No, there was none of that then.
No.
No internet then either. After we were married, we were looking for a place, and we were checking all over Orange County and stuff, and we found this one place that was just perfect. So we found this place, and when we looked at it, we could see as it was going to be, not as it was, but as it could be.
When we bought our house, it badly needed a paint job, and because we loved Disney, we thought, well, we would paint it in the colors of Snow White, which was a nice bright yellow and royal blue as the trim. For accent, we had some stone statues. We bought a stone statue of Snow White that went outside by the front door. There was a rock wall, a natural rock wall, and on top we were planning on putting each of the dwarfs as it went down, and at the very end would be Snow White. And we live on an unpaved road. It's very country. Lots of trees, sycamores and oak trees, and at the back of our house there's almost a year-round stream. So when you're sitting out in the back, you can hear the stream going and all the birds, and I love that. Yeah.
But like any good fairy tale, the journey of Mark and Charmaine was not all twittering birds and rainbows. There were also very dark times when the two of them were barely even able to set foot inside of Disneyland.
We moved down here, me and my family, in 1971 from a small island called Woodby Island in Washington State. And it was very country, it was very slow-paced, everyone knew each other. And we came down here because my dad was in the Navy and was transferred down into San Diego. And it was a whole other world coming to California, very fast, and I didn't know about anything down here. And so I developed agoraphobia early on, and I suffered with it for approximately 15 to 16 years, from my school age times through young adulthood. When we got married, I was suffering so bad. We were not able to get married, in a church or anything. We had to have a priest come out to the house. When Mark came over for a vacation from England, I'd written him before that I had a few disabilities, agoraphobia was one of them. But I don't think he really understood what it was all about until he got here. And he saw that it was a little bit more involved than he previously thought. So we both absolutely love Disney, anything Disney. And we both wanted to come to Disneyland at one point. So we did have to take baby steps, very small steps to get here. And he was always there and let me take control. If something was too difficult, we would turn around. He wouldn't force me to do anything. And we would come here and just park in the parking lot. Several times, maybe, before I could even get up to the gate. And then from there, we would be able to get into the gate. One of the symptoms with agoraphobia, I would be off balance a lot or dizzy. So he rented one of the wheelchairs for me from here, and he would push me down Main Street. So it wouldn't matter if my balance was off, and I would feel more comfortable. And it was a really good tool to get me where we had to go, And things progressed with the help of coming to Disneyland. It's just a whole other world. I mean, look at me now. I would have never believed that I would be to this point. At any time, I thought it was useless.
It's therapeutical.
Yeah, absolutely therapeutical.
Yeah.
Coming here, and just slowly, one by one, I was able to get on a slow ride, maybe the train, and I would be able to scope out everything as the train went slowly along, and I wouldn't feel like I was going into something that I didn't know about. And we took it from there.
Yeah.
Going to restaurants was another big thing for me. And because of all the different magical things that are around here, I could take my thoughts to other places.
You feel safe here.
The more I felt comfortable and yes, safe. I absolutely know when I come into Disneyland, I am safe.
During our morning in Disneyland, the moment that amused me the most was this. When Mark and Charmaine and I are going through Fantasyland, and Mark starts explaining how they used to come to the park in the evenings so that it was a little bit easier for Charmaine to get over her agoraphobia. And meanwhile, as he's telling me this story, I notice that Charmaine is now so comfortable that she's zipping off through the park in front of us, and I actually lose her in the crowd.
doing what we're doing right now. It's come in the day, in the morning when it's so busy.
Yeah.
This would have been impossible originally.
Yeah.
So.
And this is one of the busiest parts of the park, right through here. And there she goes. She's so comfortable that she's running away from us now. Yeah, she's just zipping along.
Zapping off.
Yeah.
You say you're so comfortable now. You're just taking off away from us.
Going towards the White Rabbit.
Oh, Alice in Wonderland? Yeah, that's one we used to go on a lot.
All right, let's go over there. Thanks to the love and support of Mark and the wonderment of Disneyland, Charmaine was able to overcome her 15 years of agoraphobia. And I commented to her that kind of makes Mark her real-life Prince Charming.
Absolutely. I had this love affair with anything British, and I love to watch, things on TV back in history of that time and stuff. And then when I was in the Pen Pal Club, it turns out that he was on my list, and he was from Great Britain, and I just thought that was the most fantastic thing. And we really hit it off, and yeah, he's been there for me every step of the way.
And we've been married now since 1993. 1990. That date would be fine.
1990. 1990.
I'm hopeless with dates and stuff. Dates and directions, I'm useless with both of them.
It's a good thing she had sunglasses on. If looks could kill at that moment.
No, 93 was when we bought our house.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, my brother in England, he has a son with cerebral palsy. He's very sick. And it was about 10 years ago. They came over here with my mom and to visit the park, because they didn't really know how long he was going to be able to walk around or do anything. But he's extremely sick. He has to wear like a crash helmet, because if he has seizures regularly, and they never know when he's going to fall. But one of the places that decided something special for him was to bring him to Disneyland. And when he was here, the characters were interacting with him, like Mickey Mouse came over and Minnie Mouse, and he loved it. It was just, and my brother was so happy to see his, son Michael happy. It was just like something really special. They got photos of him with Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and some of the other characters, which is like a solid goal to my brother, to have those experiences, because now unfortunately his son's in a hospital all the time, so he's not able to do anything anymore. So those memories that he has are extremely special, and he's very grateful, very happy that Disney was able to give him those. So it's a very special place. That's what it comes down to. I love Disney.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.